At midnight, the knocking began. 3 slow taps against the front door of Mara Venn's row house, each one neat as a fingernail, each one followed by a silence so complete she could hear the refrigerator humming in the kitchen and the rain whispering against the window panes. Mara lay awake on the sofa beneath a thin blanket, her old radio glowing on the table beside her. It was a relic from her father's workshop, a walnut-boxed shortwave set built in 1978, all cracked dials and green-lit needles. She kept it on because the static was less lonely than the dark. The knocks came again. 3 taps, then a man's voice, polite and low. "Miss Venn?" No one called her that, not since her mother died. Mara rose barefoot and crossed the hall to the door. The smell of wet earth seeped through the frame, impossible on a 4th-floor landing where nothing grew. Through the frosted glass, she saw only a tall silhouette, hat-brimmed, still as a hook in the dark. "Who are you?" she asked. "A friend of your father's," the man said. "I've come for the radio." Her hand tightened on the chain lock. Her father had vanished 12 years ago after a night of thunder and a basement full of wires. He had left behind the radio, a notebook of frequencies, and one sentence scrawled in his last hand. "If it knocks, do not answer before midnight." She had never known what it meant. "It's not for sale," she said. A pause, then softly, "It was never meant to be kept." The radio on the table crackled. Mara turned. The needle on the dial had swung all the way to the red, though no one had touched it. Through the speaker came a sound like distant footsteps inside a steel tunnel, followed by static shaped almost like breathing. When she looked back at the door, the stranger smiled through the frosted glass. Not wide, not cruel. Worse than both. Patient. She should have retreated. Instead, curiosity, her father's curse, her own inheritance, pulled her toward the radio. On the desk lay the notebook, opened by a draft she hadn't felt, to a page she had never seen before. There was a diagram of the house. In the margin, in hurried pencil, were the words, "The door at midnight is not the front door. It is the one behind the sound." The knocking resumed, now from inside the walls. From the hallway, from beneath the floorboards, from the sealed chimney. Mara's breath came sharp and thin as the lights in the ceiling dimmed to a bruised purple. The radio voice rose from static into a whisper she knew at once. Her father. "Mara," it said, breaking apart between bursts of snow. "Do not open it. He wore my face when I came back." The stranger knocked once more, and the door bowed inward as if something tall and wet leaned against it from the other side. Then the chain lock began to tremble. Mara snatched up the radio and hurled it to the floor. Glass cracked, sparks flashed blue. The room filled with a violent shriek of feedback, and in that shriek she heard another sound layered beneath it, her own voice, calling from somewhere very far away, from a place with no walls. The stranger laughed gently. "Too late," he said.